Nora. Please understand the following. We say all the time that, for example, we saw yesterday, what's a car? A car is movement. Why do you need to move? Because a human being inherently occupies the entire world. The whole world is his platform. And therefore, the ability to go from one across the world is something which is very much in the human spirit. Okay. Now, let's analyze these few words. The whole world is his platform, which means, from that perspective, he is already in the entire world. The principle or the functionality of getting from one place to the other, you realize that this is a much reduced element of that same concept of the whole world is my platform. But it's much reduced, because in that the world is my platform, this is inherent, this is instantaneous. I don't have to get there in order that it should be mine. On the functioning level, I have to get there. But it's an identical element at a reduced level, at a limited level. This is at the Oyneg HaNefesh, is the Oyneg HaNefesh, Oyneg of whatever the highest, whatever the Oyneg HaNefesh is, it's Mesaneg in Chayes, Mesaneg in Elokus. That same Oyneg is what is projected into all the various koiches. And in the various koiches, on the most trivial level, such as you said, the movement of the hand also has a mind. Okay. Okay, Yehuda, just 1 second. Let us put down our point. Right. We'll just start where we were yesterday. The line begins Hakoichis. In the middle of the page, Chavtes. Yes.
So yesterday we talked a lot about the Tivi, what it means, the Tivi elements, before we get into the Nefesh piece.
Yeah, on both. Yeah.
And we said that in the Tivi element is an element of Oyneg in every Koyach. So my question was, Oyneg and Tivi seem to be two different, completely opposite things on my part. Oyneg is Tivi has cause and effect, whereas Oyneg is connection to the source, which is something completely internal, something which is a truth. So I just wanted to understand this relationship between how does Oyneg come into Tivi?
The cause and effect element in TV is the means by which the functioning element of TV occurs. Like I said, if I push this watch, the watch moves. That's a cause and effect. This is the functioning part of TV. What is the essence, the mahus of TV? It becomes a little more subtle. Yes, I push the watch, the kind of watch moves. What enables me to push the watch?
The fact that you and the watch are in the same...
The fact that the watch is a metzias, has a limited presence. So I can push it. If it were not a presence, I can't push it. There's a story. The Alter Rebbe did a lot of traveling at a certain time, visiting various Messiah enclaves and all that. And I don't remember which time he was. And the Alter Rebbe was traveling, of course, incognito. So he was in a certain place, and there were Misnadashek Doilim. So Alter Rebbe noticed that under the bench was lying a Noimali Melech, a Sefer Noimali Melech, the Sefer from the Melech and So this man turned to the Alter Rebbe, do you know anything about this man, the author of this Sefer that's under the bench? The Alter Rebbe says, I have no hasoga in this person. I can tell you one thing, that if you put him under the bench, you'd also be as quiet as his Sefer is.
You put him under the bench, what?
Huh?
You put him under the bench, what?
He would also be as quiet as this book. He can't push around something that is not a Metzias. This is the principle of Nefesh HaTivis. This thing that we discussed, we explained, just to get a grasp. TV, was all a preparation to come to understand the Kiho Ruchni. TV and Ruchni, so the Gashmi and Ruchni, so TV and Ruchni. This is the difference. TV means that there is something that you're experiencing. There's a Metzias. So yes, indeed, the Nefesh is mispashet in all the koichos. And this is a phenomenal meaning that goes to the Chochmah and so forth. In every madrege, in every situation, there is the Metzias, the definitive element that you can say, this is happening. Okay, so again, we are trying to focus and understand what we are talking about in this other nefesh. Okay, so we are on the line that begins hakoiches, in the middle of the page Chavtes. Just as this is true in nefesh hativi, that the oineg ha-nefesh first is identified and is mislabesh and comes through the chokhmah, and the chokhmah is able to relate to the essential element of that oineg, and therefore it is able to transmit down to the koichos the oineg that pertains to the koichos. The similar inyan is in the oineg aleki haruchni. Oineg aleki, ruchni in the shom alekis. I don't think I have to translate these words. What we do need is to sense what these words are referring to? What are you talking about? And I said sense quite intentionally, because since we're talking about Ein Eliki, you cannot understand, you cannot grasp. There's nothing there to grasp. And as the Rebbe himself points out, Ein Eliki Horuchni. Even though it's Oineg, so Oineg means what? That is a kind of an experience. So it's a Ruch Yizdiki experience. It's an experience without a presence. So it is called Oineg, but there's no presence to it. And the only way to describe it is Haruchi.
By Tivi, the Oineg assumes a Metzias quality, or it comes into a Metzias.
There is a Metzias element in it. Chayus is already Metzias relative to Holocaust.
And here we're saying something that does not have a Metzias?
Right, Eliki. Each one, this, as I said, we're talking about something that we can only sense. Sense is something that each one has to bring out on their own. There's absolutely no way to describe a sense and to present it and to hit you over the head and says, hey, don't you sense this? He has to sense the hit, you don't see the Inyan. But I want to go with you to the level where we would sense what sense is. Put it this way. Which we have to some degree touched many, many times. The first principle of Eliki is that it does not have a source, does not have anything preceding it from which it comes. This principle, it doesn't have anything preceding which it comes. It's not simply saying, okay, this is an original presence. What it is saying is that this is a presence of non-presence. Because any presence has to have, has something that precedes it. In simple terms, in our terms, we always seek to know, the source of things. Where does this come from? Where does this come from? And we say, in our Tivisdike terms, we say, okay, where does the world come from? The world comes from the fact that God created it. And where does God come from? and there our logic and our tivisdike thought process stops, ends. So now, if our tivisdike thought process ends, so what have we accomplished by saying that God created it? Just as you don't understand the presence of the world, and you can't explain where it's coming from, it has to come from someplace, because that's the way the tivisdike mind works. The Metzias has to come from someplace. And they say, where is it coming from? You say, God created it. So how does that help you if you don't know where God comes from? What does that mean? That when you say God created it, that God is in a different realm than Metzias. If God were also Metzias and He was able to create this, so then you haven't accomplished anything by saying God created it. It's called pushing the buck. Now, okay, here's what I really want you to follow. God created it means that it is in a different realm than the creation. I have no idea what it is. And it's meaningful to me that because it's from a different realm, it's not in a realm where it has a chumrius aspect, a tivisdike aspect, a presence. It's in a different realm. It doesn't have a presence, and therefore there is not the question where it's coming from. So now, since it doesn't have a presence that I can identify with, at any level, not even in remote ways, some kind of presence I don't understand. It's not the presence in the way in the realm of presence as I know it. Therefore, my question is the following: when we say God created it, is that a meaningful statement or is it a meaningless statement? Have I answered the question, or we just pushed it away? Does it mean anything to us when we say God created it? But we have no no beginning of a handle saying what's that? If you don't have what's that, so what have you accomplished? What are you talking about? It's a meaningless statement. So we say, no, it is meaningful statement. So this is the difference. Is it a meaningful statement or is it not? If you are bound to grasp, forget it, you're not talking about God altogether. Then you're just pressing the button. If you are really truly talking about God, talking about that which is in a different realm totally than the mitzvahs that you are dealing with. So how does that answer your quest to know where this is coming from? Do you follow what I'm saying?
What is the last piece? How does it answer the quest?
How does it answer the question? The question. You want to know where it's coming from, right? This
Only
is
if you have a sense of what you're talking about. God.
Which means that you have a sense of a reality that is not in the realm of Metzius. And not that you have a sense because you sense it. If you sense it, that's already Metzius. The minute you sense it, then you ask, okay, so where does that sense come from? Then it is not in a different realm.
Not because you have a sense that you sense, meaning here not because you have a sense that you're grasping, more direct, some kind of sense beyond sensing, beyond grasping.
Let me explain what I'm saying. I know something. Listen to me. You have to watch me. Put my hand on this book. I sense that there is something under my finger. Why do I sense it? There are many factors in this. But one major factor is because if I remove my hand, I don't sense it. When I touch it, I sense it. Therefore, I sense that phenomenon, that effect of touching it. When we talk about God, I sense God. There isn't that element. The minute you start talking about that element, you're not talking about God. I don't sense it because I'm touching, I'm sensing it. I'm sensing it because that's the reality itself. And it's not because. This is the question. This is the very simple question I put. You say, yet, the answer to the existence of the world that God created, is that a meaningful answer or is it a meaningless answer? And here is where, please understand, where the human being comes in, and among the human being, where the Jew comes in. This is an exclusive realm. God created the world. So what does it mean to me? It means to me that if I want something, I can turn to Him and ask Him for something. Makes me feel good. Right? Makes me feel good. Is that what we're talking about? That what you mean? Is that the Jewish God, so to speak? This is the realm into which we are entering now. And this is the sensitivity element. This, not sensitivity, sense element. That we have to relate to. We all have it in God's help. But certainly, we're not geared to what I said. When we talk about sense, I sense this. But this is not that at all. That sense, which is a non-experiential sense. Touch is an experiential sense. That sense is a non-experiential sense. This sense is what makes me real, makes everything real. Not on a logical level, not on a discovered level, but on the fundamental level. One way we put it, that I'm listening to the Ayeter, the possibility of anything existing. It's a different realm. That is a sense of a presence which has no compelling element, compelling element in it. If I touch this and I remove my hand, so there's a compelling element that makes me feel its touch. Because I see the difference between touching it and not touching it. In that sense, there's no compelling element at all. There's no logic whatsoever. It is not in the realm of Nefesh HaTivi. Where in some sense, in some way, you could attribute to a cause of your awareness. There is not a cause of your awareness. And yet, this is the most important point, this sense of the Nefesh HaElokי, Haruchni, in the most powerful manner, is our own reality. This is in our own world. This is what makes everything else possible. This is what makes the everything that we identify makes sense. Oh yeah, it's possible, it should be there. The whole thing, possibility of existence, is beyond existence. This is called Elokי. This is called Elokי. And the Rebbe is saying that the Elokus of the Nefesh HaElokis in the Elokי realm also relates to the various qualities and various koichos on the Elokי level. On the Elokי level, there is things that can be defined as koichos and chushim, even though the whole thing is beyond sense, beyond an identifiable sense.
You also
Okay, so this is just a preparation what you have to get prepared for if you want to understand the following, what follows.
You also need the emtsayos of
Huh?
You need the chachma over there as well.
Everything. Everything. Koichos, forget about chachma. Koichos. Chushim. But the entire presence is a non-presence.
No, I think to bring the tainug into, we say that it needs the emtsayos, the middle of chachma, because you're going from a non-presence or here you're not going to that to a metzias.
That's right. Non-presence to non-presence.
Right, but still you need chachma.
Yes. The whole, it's a full arena on the Eloki land. All right, this is it for this morning, and as today happens to be Thursday, so we will convene in Menachem tonight at 679 Crown Street. Have a good day.
We need a sponsor. We have a co-sponsor. We need another co-sponsor for Shabbos to bring in. And also, if someone steps forward to be a co-sponsor, they should give.
Yeah.